Hello everyone. Gian Lazzaro asked me to give some comments for the semi-final that we played in Riccione. So I open with a 3-2 standard play. 4-2 hitting on my head, obvious play. And actually the next move will be my first mistake of the match. Because of too many blots, I should pick up. Enter on the 20 is correct, should pick up the blot of 11, move it to 8. Okay. So Antonio correctly hits on the 5 point. This always has a great gain value, as Michi says. In the meantime, you see me cleaning the board because we have to play a long match. Always on the lookout for possible distractions. So entering, hitting, and covering the 10, obvious answer. Antonio has a 5-2 to play, which he plays in the most solid and correct way. Double 1, very good roll. Of course, making the 5 point. Moving up to the 9 is correct. The 2-1, the correct play should be easy to find normally, but maybe intimidated by my double 1. Antonio is slightly off balance here, makes the defensive anchor, but better is entering on the 24 and hitting on the 5 point. More aggressive play. Fight for the position. 5-2, running. Six and 2, correct play. Alternatively, he could run from the 23 anchor to the 15 point, which XG gives as marginally better. But this is a hard play to find if you just made the anchor. Okay, here I find a double, which is actually marginal, borderline. It's by 1,000. It is actually not a double, so the take is clear. Always a good idea to think about this, spend some time, especially in the first game of the match where you're still warming up. So he finds the take. So we continue with my 4-3. Hitting on the 7 is pretty straightforward because you can try for the prime and then there's only one good 3 left. So dancing, of course, not so good. Improving my position tremendously because I can make now the prime. Correct play. And oh my god, another dance. So things are moving in my direction quickly. Lucky start of the match. Running home while red is trying to enter. Okay, he finds a hit. I would like to hit on the edge with my 2, but I have to use it to enter and then of course keep the prime intact. No reason to dump checker on the 1 point. For 3. Correct play, easy to find, making the bar. Here I can actually run with my 5-3, but I like to hit him off the edge, which seems to be the correct move by a small margin. And here Antonio misses the best play, which is actually coming in on the 22 point and hitting on the 5 with some backgame potential. And the way he plays it now, he remains stuck behind the 5 prime anyway, so he might as well play more aggressively on his side of the board with the other option to move into a backgame. So this is all pretty straightforward, this bit. Here XG says that I should actually run off my anchor, either with both checkers, which is a double falcon, or to the 14 point and move 13 to 9. The move that I played to the 3 point is only 3,000 inferior, so a good play, but not the best one. So the 3-2, he should make the 5 point on my head, which seems obvious, but hard to, well, it seems easy to overlook. Not hard, easy to overlook. In the heat of the moment. So we continue with my 5-3 hitting. He has an anchor and I'm greedy. Greed is good. Trying to go for the gammon, which is tremendously helped by my double sixes. Very lucky game on my part to start the match with. Antonio doesn't enter. Another double six, which is actually not so good because I need very much to get away with my one trapped checker. This could easily go wrong. Entering one checker. And here is my lucky 2-6 to escape. Six-2 not entering, and now the rest should be pretty straightforward. I'm not going to give him the double 4, so I move 5-2, which is actually the correct move. Okay, 4-3 entering. Does he have to come out? It is actually marginal. By coming out to the bar point, he would give me slightly more bad numbers. On the other hand, he would concede just a fraction more gammons. But this is pretty marginal, so I can totally understand why he takes some time over this. Of course, behind the board, if you have to play, this is a difficult decision. If you would only know the XG numbers and that it is marginal, then you wouldn't take so long. This is not something that you know when you're playing the match. It always remains a practical game. So, Antonio still taking his time. And finding the best play. But as I said, it is marginal difference. 5-2, straightforward. Of course, taking a checker off. Running with 2. Gammons are actually in the 80% vicinity. Does look grim, this situation, but he can win still 10% of the games. But this should be after a hit, of course. 3-2. Finding the actual best move is very difficult here because they are all very marginally close together. So covering the 5 point seems a good idea in case you would get a hit and still turn this game around. So double one, I take the opportunity to clear the 6 point because there's only 2 problems remaining on my side, clearing the 6 point and clearing the 5 point. If I do that, I basically win the gammon. Yeah, not much difference between the different moves here. Okay, I have an even number. Not only even, I have 4 checkers on the 6 point. On the 5 point, no shots will be coming on the next move. A 0 position, as Michi would say. Okay, taking 2 off. Now there is some shots again on the next roll. Okay, as we see, the shot is not coming. Every move that I can postpone the shot, my winning chances improve. Antonio still staying back with 1 checker to maybe catch a shot. He would only win 1 or 2% of the games, but still save the gammon, of course, by hitting a shot. Here's my double one. And this is actually a misplay. I played the safest move, but it's only by a 1/10 of a percent. I remembered this situation, thinking about it. I played the safe move, which is hitting and shifting my point to the 3 point. If he comes in behind me, I have an almost certain gammon. But actually it is correct here to take some men off and keep my 5 point. If I either take 3 men off of the 1 point or take a 1 and a 3 off, Antonio will stay back, because if I roll a 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, he still gets a shot. So by staying back, he would concede me some backgammons if I roll double 5s or 6s. So this would be the reason not to play my move, but to take checkers off from the 1 point or the 1 and 3 point. Okay. So, but here we are. He comes in behind me. This was my consideration when playing this move. And of course, the gammon is now almost impossible to save, especially after taking these 2 off. And he concedes the gammon, early start, strong start, 4-0, of course also a lucky start. Now this 4-0 start of the match, I remember vividly, that gave me in the next games the inclination not to double too easily. So as to protect my lead. Okay, 4-2, obvious move. But it also meant that I missed some opportunities in the next games for doubling, and we will see those moments happening as they unfold. So hitting 2 is actually inferior here because you have only 8 checkers in the zone. You should hit on the 5 with red and take a builder down with 13-9. Okay, early double by Antonio. I take. It was actually not a double by 53 millipoints, but following up by the double 1 is of course very strong. I enter 1, he shifts, which is of course correct. Not entering, so here I am struggling, and of course already in danger. Like the gammons are already like 40%, so I'm in danger to an equalizing score of 4-4. So still not entering. Gammons are already over 50% here. But of course, if it's a no double, you can hardly pass such a double. So correctly hitting on the 2-point. Well played by Antonio in case of a blitz, and I enter with a hit, which is a setback for Antonio, slowing down the blitz. And this is an amazingly unlucky roll, dancing on the 1-point board. Of course I dance as well, and the fight goes on. In this kind of blitz position, there's only 2 things that you need to keep in mind. You either have to bring wood in the direction of the fire, or you throw the wood on the fire. That is the 2 things you do. So you bring builders down and you keep hitting to prevent me from anchoring. Okay. So here is a very lucky entering roll. And what to do? I don't play the 13-7 because it's way too many hits. So then I hit on the ugly 2-point, which is clearly better in this case. It's not the point you want to have your checkers on, but still. Antonio playing the 6-5 correctly, of course keeping his anchor. The baffle box worked pretty well for us in this match. We have to thank Carlo Melzi for lending it to us. It was Antonio's idea to use a baffle box in the first place. Neither of us brought one to Riccione, but we found a very helpful person, in this case Carlo Melzi, to grant us the use of his baffle box. Okay, this double 2 is of course an amazingly lucky roll. Moving up the anchor hitting Antonio on the head, and suddenly I am even money in the game again. So I couldn't believe my luck there. So here is a case where you don't have to put a third checker on the 2-point, which I'm about to do. I didn't want to give any shots here, but as we can see, there's 2 blots in Antonio's board. So I might as well have played 2 checkers down from the 13-point and conceded the shots. The shots were not a bargain anyway. Okay, he runs 1 checker, and here I have basically the same kind of situation. And here I decide to even run off my anchor, which is a good idea if my opponent has blots in his board and I have only 1 spare left in the outfield. There comes a time that you have to run off your anchor. And interestingly, this is a correct moment, but I have to move 21 to 10. And then it would cost him his anchor to hit. So the way I play it is actually not correct. I should go all the way with this checker from the 20-point. And even more interestingly, 13 to 2 is the best move by a small margin. But 21-10 comes at a distance of 5,000 of a point. So 21-10 was the proper way to run off my anchor. Waiting was also Correct. Okay, the double 4 is of course a very good roll, and he finds the best play. So if I don't hit, I'm in trouble again, and I don't enter and don't hit. So gammon's already above 30% again. And Antonio finds the obvious play covering one checker. But I remember that he reconsidered for a moment, because there's another blot to be picked up on the 10 point, and actually he could hit it from the 20 point. But this is not a good idea. This would cost him some wins and some gammons. The play is just a bit too wild. If he closes his board, or almost closes it, I don't enter here. So then in this kind of scenario, there's all kinds of possibilities to pick up the second checker anyway. So Antonio thinking about his 5-1. The obvious move is of course to bring wood to the fire. But what he puts on the board here, one down and the lifting the blot, is actually the correct play given by the machine. Costs you some gammons because you don't close the opponent out, but you win more games. 82 versus 78%. Of course, the move that he actually plays, which is this one, is the more aggressive move, and it is the second best. I don't enter. Well, I was expecting to lose a gammon here, but then he finds a roll that doesn't cover, which is again very unlucky. So what should he do here? He should go after the blot on the 10 point. There's a few ways to do this, but the best way is to put a blot in direct, a checker in direct range of this blot. So actually 20 to 14 is the best play. And he's slightly unlucky not to find this play. I remember that he lifted his blot from the 7 point. But you have to think aggressively here, going after the blot on the 10 point, actually, and leaving the cover on the bar point, gives more rolls to cover the 2 point. Coming closer gives less combinations, and moving there, to the bar point, doesn't bring his checkers into direct range of the blot on the 10 point. So the obvious move was better in this case. This sometimes happens in backgammon, where you outsmart yourself and find a nice play which is not the best one. You will see me do that in the future in this match, where I don't find the double where I should double. Okay, he enters with the 1 and anchors up. Still a solid 60% favorite here because of his strong board and the fact that I don't have an anchor. So what to do here? There is no safe play. So of course I have to hit on the 1 point to protect my blot in his board. So he misses my blot. Very lucky sequence for me. Coming out, of course. So it's pretty obvious that I need to leave his board. Should I do this running or hitting and giving even 3 blots? It turns out that I found the best play here, and it is hitting. It wins more games, but also loses more gammons. because of giving him access to the 24-point blot, or 1 point in my case, seen from the white side. He enters. Actually, he should move up to the 20-point and keep his builders diversified. With a strong board, he can do this. And now the game starts slowly tilting in my favor. I'm already a 55% favorite. So 6-3, what to do? Making the 5-point, that was a bluff, of course. I'm not going to give the double shot. I'm going to give him actually nothing. If I cover the 11, then there's no safe 3 to play, so I have to play 11-2, like before in this game. But this time I find the correct move. 4-1, moving up to the 18-point. He is still 45% underdog. Of course, this has to do with the race and the anchor. With the bar point anchor and slightly down in the race, you will always be an underdog, but not a big underdog. You are have a very solid situation, especially in his case with the strong 5-point board. So what to do with my 5-3? Do I want to break my 8-point? No, definitely not. This would be a double blunder. I don't remember why I took so long deciding on this move. Of course, I'm not going to break the 13-point. So where am I going to play the 5 if I don't break my 8-point? Of course, I'm going to play the 5 from my 6-point. And then I can decide to break my 6-point entirely and play 6-3, but this just cannot be good, and it turns out to be also a double blunder. So that remains the move that I play, covering the blot on the 1 point and going to the 14. Okay. Straightforward move. Closing the board, giving me some hits, of course, but this is the move you have to play. The rest is a blunder. And my 5-4, of course, pretty obvious, not going to give him shots or even double shots, playing one home. So, very unlucky shot, needs to break up his board. 6-2 was an alternative. This is also fine. And here I have what for me is a difficult choice. I can hit and go to the 6-point, giving him 2 blots, or I can break my 8-point, giving him only 1 blot. And this is actually the correct move that I'm putting on the board now. I'm only 10 pips ahead in the race, so it's not totally clear that I will win anyway. So hitting locks up the race in case he doesn't hit me back. So if I hit, I make it a 1-roll proposition mainly. He either hits me on the 5-point and then I might lose, or he doesn't hit me there, or even dances, and I am one very big step closer to home. But somehow I didn't want to risk this. The tension of the semi-final and a 4-point lead clouded my judgment here, clearly. So I played the inferior move, which is on the board now, and it is a blunder. Antonio, of course, moving closer to home. And now we will see that I somehow was overcome by fear. Not here. Here I played the correct move, playing 2 down, because otherwise I start breaking up my board. This is a good moment to break the 6-point contact. There's not a better move in sight, and very lucky on my part he misses this one, because he might have won. Here I definitely needed to double, and it is a pass. Why didn't I do the redouble? Maybe I miscounted the race a bit, I don't remember. But if you realize that you're 16 pips ahead, then you should double and it's a pass. And here again, double and pass. It's a blunder not to double. Imagine that he would roll something high and it is not even a pass anymore. Actually, this is a redouble take, because I rolled the double one. It is a 950 take. Yes, he correctly stays back, and this is actually the only move that gives him a take, but I do not double. Should have doubled, and it is a very marginal take then. The fact that I'm afraid of the 4 cube, which might become an 8 cube, should not mean that I never double. So, and here it is not even a double anymore after his 6-5. So this is what I risk by not redoubling correctly, when it is either a very small take or a clear pass. So I should kick myself in the head for not doing this, because he's back into the game now. Even taken the first checker off here. He has like a 32% chance of winning this race, even almost a 40% chance now. And the dice will decide everything now. So this is my total mistake. I should have redoubled him when I had the chance. I had at least 3 opportunities to do that, and two of that moment he should have passed, and one would be a very marginal close take, which is easy to miss over the board. So he might have passed there as well. And now I'm struggling to get these 2 points that I should have already had in the bag. Okay, taking 2 off. Here is my lucky double, after which I can cash the game finally. Of course, this 2-row position he has to pass. And finally I take the 2 points that I should have taken long ago. So 6-0 ahead, and game number 3. And I remember in analyzing the match with XG that in this third game you will have some moments where I also should double and fail to do so because of being intimidated actually by my own lead in the match and not wanting to give the opponent a quick way in by pumping up the cube. But there is moments, even when leading in the match by a solid margin, like almost half the match in this case, 6 points out of 13, there is still moments where you might double, and we will see those moments later. Okay, lucky start for Antonio with the double 3, but I hit on his 8 point with my lucky 4-3. Okay, Antonio finds the best play. And now I am struggling to find the best play. The best play is actually playing my loose checker from 17 to 11, giving sixes, not giving any extra blocks, of course. Making the 4-point is the second best move, then I give an extra block. Here I'm actually considering the correct move and then decide to stack 6 checkers on my midpoint and slotting in my board, which I can only cover by 2s or 9s. Leaving the blot on the 11-point unstacking or not stacking was actually better. So I'm lucky he misses my blot. And of course I covered this blot. And I thought I was playing the obvious move. But I'm not. I should keep my 8-point and unstack, giving a shot. It just needs to be done. The move I play is actually a blunder. Stacking is bad. Not unstacking is bad. Should have listened to Michi. 2-1 is correct, the way Antonio plays it. I'm lucky to escape stacking even more in the meantime. So we have a nice stack against the best anchor and a good board. Let's see what happens. Very one-sided position. I do have a 25 pip lead in the race. Should I double here? No, of course not. This is correct. Not to double would be a very big blunder with only 53% winning chances and a 6-point lead. This would prevent me for some time from doubling. So here I have basically the only move which is not double or triple blunder is the move I play. Unstacking, don't give him a double shot. Distribute, diversify with the 6 to 4. This is all pretty straightforward, but in the tension of the semi-final, trying to get to the final, simple moves become difficult. Even obvious moves become sometimes difficult. If you dive too deep mentally in this match situation. Okay. He hits me, after which normally he should win. If I don't enter, he can probably just cash the game or play on. But, lucky me, I actually managed to enter and hit him. Of course, picking up the blot because of his strong board. So now he doesn't have a double pass. He has a double take actually from the bar because of his strong board, and he's almost equal in the race, only 7 pips down here. So if he enters against my 3-point board, he is very much in control of the game. So this should not be a double at a 0-0 score or 6-6, but it is definitely a double when you're 6 points behind. Okay, he enters. And he will safety his blot from the 9-point. No reason to leave 2 blots on the 9 and 11 point. So he will just safety this blot. He has a nice outfield control. I have a stack on the 13 point. So this means that in the next sequence or on the next move, he could probably try to double me. That is, if I don't roll an amazingly lucky number. So like the double 5s that pop out of the baffle box here. So now he does not have a double anymore. I'm a solid favorite now. So, but when to double such a situation? Another 6-5 for me. Well-known situation by now. And again, I should play the move that is now on the board, playing 2 down, giving me a 56% game winning chances. And this move that I actually play cost me 3% of game winning chances. It's not the correct move. So he hits me, but he should move up to the 20 points and not play 11 to 7. I'm very lucky, of course, to enter, diversify with 4 to 3. He makes the 5-point prime. Okay, I would have liked to run with 6s or hit with 1s, which is not happening. It was not an advantage to double because before my 3-2 I only have 52% winning chances. Definitely no double, not even at a 0-0 score. So 3-2 for Antonio. Again, I hit him from the bar. Very lucky. The wind is not in Antonio's sails, but he tries to make the best of it. Okay. He doesn't enter. Still, I cannot double this situation. It would be a triple blunder to do so. After my 6-3, however, I'm coming closer. But he has kind of a back game. This is not a situation that you should double with white. So, my 5-4, how to play it? Yes, this is the correct move. XG tells me. Solid and simple. Double 4 or double 6 would hit, or 6-5, but I would still be very much in the game. And here is another very nice move, very nice roll. But still no recube or cube. The cube is still in the middle, still no cube on the next roll. Will there ever be a cube? I was not seriously considering it in this kind of situation. You just play on. So best move here is to run from the 18 points. That move played is actually a blunder. Okay, I clear my point. Before the move I could still not double. Double 5, unlucky. Blowing his timing completely for this back game. And it means, actually, that after this double 5 we have a new situation, and this is a moment to consider doubling. And it might not be obvious to everyone, but it wasn't obvious to me, but this is a double pass, and I should catch the point leading 7-0. What happens if he takes? Taking is a blunder. So I should be happy, even if he gets the shot and hits it and maybe wins the 2 points, he still would have made the blunder of taking, giving me extra winning chances. So also this move, before rolling, I have a double pass and should cash the point. It's a very reasonable move. They are basically all the same because I have again a double pass, but getting closer to too good actually. It's only a small mistake not to double now. But now my 6 point is stripped and there will be more shots. So here I should definitely double blunder to take it on his side, but it's a blunder not to double. So, and there is the shot. He could still win by hitting. I'm lucky that he does not hit. And I can take 2 off. In this position I was actually way too good to double. And also all the rolls following, I'm too good to double. And here is then the last shot, I thought. No, it is not the last shot. Every time you miss a shot, there can be another shot coming. Lots of times you get one more chance than you expect to get, and this will happen here as well. I was hoping, of course, to roll a nice set and take 3 points of him. But I rolled a 4-2. Antonio hits me. But still, with 14 checkers off, I have a healthy 92% winning chance. So this means I should simply double from the bar, and he realizes that he has only a very minimal chance of winning, 8%, and he correctly passes. And so we move to the third game, to the fourth game. In the second and third game of this match, so this last game and the game before, I missed a whole bunch of cubes and recubes. So this should be a lesson to me. I should not be intimidated by my own lead in the match and just give healthy doubles and redoubles. So for the people who are wondering what is written on the banana, there is written in French, this is not a banana. A reference to René Magritte with his famous painting Ceci n'est pas une pipe. So you can see we were having a good time, besides playing an exciting match. Antonio is one of the very friendly, nice, correct, likable players in the circuit. The Italian circuit is full of friends like this, and this is why I like to travel all the way from the Netherlands to play in the Italian national circuit. I always have a great time there, win or lose, because if you don't have a good performance in the tournament, then you are still in Italy enjoying life. So we're going to take a little break, also with the commentary, until the players return to resume the match. So while we are waiting for the resumption of the match, I might as well tell you the PRs. So, because I made quite some doubling errors and blunders by not doubling, because I was afraid to touch the cube, by not doubling when having a healthy lead in the match, you can still lose a lot of equity. For instance, in the last game I could have doubled or redoubled. Now doubled where it was a pass and I did not, and in that way my opponent could easily still have taken the point. And exactly the same was the case in the game before, and I think it will happen again in this match. Even in this game there will be a few moments where I should actually double. So let's wait for the match to resume, and then I will take you through the different moves and cubes. So players sitting down again. Antonio taking care of a small refreshment, some energy. Very good chocolate, 80% plus. So the players are back at the board, ready to resume the match. In the meantime, I will tell you the PRs. Antonio played in this match a 4.9 and I was playing over 6, which all boils down to my missed cubes when ahead in the match. And I was always ahead in the match after this first game. I won 4-0. So we have a 3 and a 1. Antonio making the 5 point. 3 and 2. Of course, split the back checkers when the opponent makes the 5 or 4 point, because you don't want to get primed. Red fighting for the good points. So I can anchor or hit. Hitting is normally way better in the opening phase of the match. And a very good 6-5 from Antonio to hit me back. Here I can enter and hit back, but because of the lead in the match I decided to anchor up, which is actually correct. It wins slightly fewer games but saves a lot on the gammons. So 6-2, correct choice. And here I must hit the blot on the 11 point. So what to do? Slot it on the 5 or slot the bar point, the 18 point. This was totally not obvious to me, this choice. At the time, I still think it's a very difficult choice. So there's only a 2% difference between the two moves, but the other one splitting to the 18 point after hitting is actually slightly better. So enter and out. Better than going to the 5 point. And here I have the choice to hit on the 14 point or to make a point in my board. Actually 13 to 3 is another alternative, slotting a point but stripping the midpoint. So stripping the midpoint is not to be advised, but this move is actually even worse. I should have hit, hoping not to be hit back. So Antonio 5 at 4, correct choice. My 3 and 1 is obvious. There's no better 3 and we want to make the 5 point. So Antonio the 5-3. So he will bring down the checker to the 5 point, stripping the midpoint, and that's a slight disadvantage. It's better to actually make the point, the 3 point, than preparing to make a point. Okay, 3 and 2 for me. I'm slightly down in the race, but not wanting to risk any additional hits. I should just come down. 13 to 8. Taking a long time, but that happens in the excitement and tension of a match. Sometimes the obvious moves seem less obvious when your brain gets clouded by the tension of the match. Here we had a pretty long break, so the brain should be relatively fresh. Making the bar point is correct. 5 and 1, not jumping out, avoiding shots. This is actually the correct move. Six and 3. Antonio finds the correct move. And here I was afraid to break the 8 point. I should either make the 4 point and break the 8 point, giving a shot, or I should play 8 to 3. These two moves, making the 3 point or making the 4 point, are equivalent. My move is to lose, even though it keeps the 8 point. Double is reasonable, but slightly premature. Take is too easy. He should have waited a roll there, but at least he didn't make my mistake. So 6-3 was correct. 6-1, all the outside points being stripped, I just have to jump, and now it is actually better. The move I play is actually better than hitting. Hitting gives way too many blots. So 4 and 1, just coming down, obvious play. 5 and 1 for me. I should just play the blot closer to home, and this is the move that I played. 6 and 5. So Antonio will make the 1 point here, but it's actually better to slot 2 points. So moving 8 to 3 and 7 to 1, which is slightly more flexible. He's ahead in the race anyway, doesn't need the shot. So double 3, very good roll, catching up in the race a little bit, but not enough. Antonio still 19 pips ahead. There is the 5-3. He should actually break his 6-point here, not giving any shots. But that's a very ugly move to find. Breaking the 8-point is almost as good, easier to find. But then you give a shot with 4th of the anchor. So he decides to take a run for it. Practical play, but not the correct one. But my play with the 6-1 is even worse. This is the move I will play. Hitting is obvious. And I was afraid to jump from the 21 point, like the hit and split play, which is pretty obvious play normally. But it does give 5 blots. So it risks a lot of gammons, actually 30% or so. 28% gammons after I hit and split. So that's why I play safe, but it's out of play and I'm still stuck on the anchor. And still quite some shots. So the move was not correct, it was actually a blunder. Okay, Antonio enters. And he should come out to the 16-point. Instead coming down to the 8-point, but the moves are approximately equal. So here's my 2-1. I should hit. I can play 6 to 4 hitting and then 4 to 3 covering, or I can play 5 to 3 and 5 to 4. The moves are approximately equal. Very hard to find the best play after the board, behind the boards. If the moves are like equivalent, you can spend a long time and still not finding any difference. Number of shots is more or less the same. So unlucky downs for Antonio. So too early to double here. But the 3-1 is of course a very good roll, not giving any shots outside. And again he doesn't enter. Still way too early to double. I'm not even ahead in the race. Jumping with 2 is imperative. He does not enter, and here I should actually double, and it is even a small pass, 1.025. So if it's actually a pass or very close to a pass, if you know that, then also with the lead in the match you can double or redouble. So again he doesn't enter. Now I really have to double, and it's a big pass. Still waiting. No shots. And now he enters with a double 5, even taking a lead in the pip count again. And even with the 5-point board and 2 hitters, this is not a moment to throw a recube. I'm 77.5% to win this one. So at the 0-0 score, this would be an obvious double and a borderline take maybe. At this score, I cannot afford to give him a 4-cube, which he could send back to me on the 8 level instantly, evening the match in case of winning. So no doubling here. Obvious play, playing safe. He runs. Actually he could better play the 7 to the 5. It's only a small error. Okay, bringing the man home. And my double 5 gives me the opportunity to double him out of the match, leading 21 pips. Not a good idea to take. He has only 9% or so. So that's another 2 points, 9-0 score. It's a good idea for Antonio to not pass instantly, but to think about it, because it is a chance to have potentially an 8 cube to give. When you're way behind in the match, that's always a good idea to check your take points. But in this case he was not even close. So 9-0, now 4 points to go. These points can sometimes be very hard to get. How much will you risk? So we have his 6-5, obvious play. Split and down, you can never go wrong with split and down, as Mitchie says. Antonio hitting twice is the best play. Okay, I enter with 1. Antonio presses the gas pedal again for more attack. This time entering 2, and now I'm in pretty good shape. As long as Antonio does not hit my builder on the 9 point. Because I need that builder. When I'm hit and I am on the bar, it is not a builder, it is only a weakness. As Mitchie says, a builder is only a builder if you have both of your dice to play. Meaning if you're not on the bar. Otherwise it is just a weakness which can be hit. So he hits me again on the 4 point. So I enter, of course, hitting. And now I can double hit on the 1 point, but that's not correct in this case. I don't have enough checkers in the zone. I just play 1 down. And I'm not waiting for any extra blots anyway, leading in the match. No gammons. If I don't lose any gammons, I will probably win the match with this kind of lead. So, rare case of dice getting stuck in the baffle box. And here is my 6-3. Finally, I can use that builder on the 9 point, the best builder according to Mitchie. I cannot use it to build my 5, but I can safety it and make my 3. So 6-4, hitting on the 3 point actually is the best play by far. We're not going to break the 8 point with a blot to make it the 2 point. Hitting on the 3 loose is way better. I hit back, enter and out, everything correct so far. Strong start of this game by both. So I managed to, I can't anchor, then I save one of the checkers. So here two moves are to be considered: playing 2 to the 8 point, or taking the 14 and hitting on the 3 point for the third time this game, which is what Antonio will do, and it's actually equally strong as bringing 2 down. Okay, of course I will not stop hitting here, but the extra blot on the 11 point that I make is actually a small mistake, not even an error, but it's inaccurate. I need to move up to the 20 point to get closer to home and not give an extra blot here. Okay, he's 27 pips behind in the match after the roll. Actually before the roll, so he will slot the 7 point, which is a normal play. He could also have just come out to the 15 point. And here I should have actually moved not to the 20 point, but I should have moved 6-3 and covered the 11 point. Antonio with the 6-2. He hits on the 5 point, logical move, but he has to play 21-15 and hit on the 5 point, which is better. Very big roll, double 5, but I misplay it slightly. Correct play is to leave the blot right there where it is now in your picture, and actually make the 1 point to have a 3 point board. Every point is a good point if you consider board strength. So this is what I don't play. This move is almost as good. And now Antonio very unlucky to dance on the 2 point board, and here there would be a possibility to double. Small double. But I don't find it, and it's logical because I wasn't in the mood to double at this score. Not giving any easy doubles. So he will enter there, slot the 5 point, which is the correct play. Of course I will point on his head. Doesn't enter. Now I cover this thing, but it would actually be better to spread the checkers. 13-11 and 8-7. Because of the weak red board, there would be a better chance to come home with my opponent on the bar. This is a hard play to find. When you're ahead in the match, you tend to play a little bit more static and not play with 3 blots. Okay, he will enter, of course, losing track of the actual position. But we corrected it, putting it back. So 1-5 enters. Best move is to play from the 21 point to the 6, bringing 1 around. It doesn't matter very much because actually here I can double and he has a pass because of his weak home board and the 46 pip. Race deficit. Of course I didn't find that double. Hit and run is also not a good move. I should leave it there and play 13 to 9. Considering all the blots on Antonio's side, this would bring me some more wins and gammons. So 5-6. Also not the best move by Antonio. He should come out bar to 14. My double 6 is of course a very nice move. He will make the second anchor just in time, cover another point, and here it is not a case of too good, it is a case of no double. 4-3, very good roll of course. And in this position I am suddenly too good. Don't know if I realized it. There is not much incentive to double here. You get the point, but you can as well take a roll. Here after his double 4 played correctly, I should really double and cash the point. So that's another missed double. Of course I will not hit and give him 2 blots to shoot at. It will remain a double shot, however. This is not the move to play, this is a triple, almost quadruple blunder. Conceding too many gammons. So I safety the blot. Antonio must hit the shot. He cannot cube first, it's not a good idea. Riding everything on this roll. He will have to hit me first. And he does not. Here again I need to find the double. It's close to being too good, but it's actually not too good by a small difference. So here I should just double and he will pass. Somehow I wanted to try for the gammon anyway, it seems, but I changed my mind quickly. But where I should have doubled and taken the point 1 roll ago, here, after Antonio leaves the anchor, I'm actually again too good. So another double mistake on the other side of the spectrum. I'm too good and now I double. So obvious pass by Antonio. So I'm happy to report that my level of play improved a bit in the second half of the match, where Antonio's level of play remained very strong. So Antonio needs to do something back. Let's see if he succeeds in doing that. (6-3) for Antonio, split and down, and here the two moves are marginally different. I take the solid play, but hitting on the 7 point is fractionally better. Not really a big difference, only 3 thousandths of a point. 5-4, well played. He has so many builders trained on the 5 and 4 points. I must play 2 down. It's better than better than splitting. Of course, the double 1 makes the 5 point, and he should play 10-9 and 24 to 23, which is not a normal kind of play. You tend to leave your checker on the 24 point, but it would leave way fewer blots. Okay, Antonio hits, which is logical, but it is actually a double blunder. He should make the 4 point here, playing even more aggressively. This is a hard play to find. I enter and hit back. Here he enters, finds the 4 prime. I should hit now to prevent him from doubling, but there is nothing to hit. Yeah, I can actually play 13-9 and 13-1 hitting, and I could try to keep him off doubling 1 roll, but whatever move I play here, it will be a solid pass after anything that I play. Antonio will double after the move I play. He is 72%, and 19% will be gammon, so at this score that is a very clear drop. And somehow this was an easy decision for me. So for the start of Antonio's comeback. Let's see if Antonio can keep this up. And here we go. Slot and down. 3-2 for Antonio. And he finds one of the best plays. The other split and down was also good. Approximately equally strong. So here I try to play without too many blots, but I should have simply made the 5 point. It's a valuable point, and it's worth the 5 shot that I would leave. So you see that the lead in the match makes me too conservative. It's a well-known danger, but it happens in the heat of the battle. I've experienced it many times. Still, it's better than having a lead in the match and playing too loosely. That's even worse. Antonio finds the best play again. He's playing really a strong match, being more or less unlucky so far. Making the 7 point is the obvious and best move. Everything else is a blunder. Correct move by Antonio. And I have another 1-6. What to do? So I decided to run with 1. Actually, slightly better is slotting the bar point and moving 23 to 22. And I could not tell you why, because the difference is really small. Antonio will hit, of course, stronger than making the 5 point. In the opening phase, A hit is normally stronger than making a point, but making a point, on the other hand, is more important than leaving a blot, like I could have done with making my 5 point. 3 and 4 anchoring up, so far so good. Another 2 down. This is kind of an outside prime or side prime. Not too strong. But what to do? This is clearly the best move. Trying to blitz or prime. Antonio finds a really good roll here. 6-5. I basically need to hit now, or could be in trouble. I miss, but still have 31%, 32% after my move, which is making the 3 point. Sorry, not making the 3 point. The correct move is making the 3 point. My move is almost equal. So Antonio has, before he rolls the 6-6, a marginal double, no double. After the 6-6 it will be quite a different matter. Of course I will make the 5 point with my 5-3, but Antonio is now 20 pips ahead, has filled in the 5 point. Could be a marginal take at a more equal score. Here it is a fairly obvious pass, 1.044. Because of the lead in the match. It does make a difference. So, the comeback for Antonio is moving slowly. 10-0, 10-1, 10-2. But next game on. 6-5 for me, double one, making the 2 nice points. I find a hit. The hit is obviously correct. Antonio could move all the way to the 20 point here to cover the outfield. This could be slightly better than the move he plays, making the anchor. But it's also a very strong move. Okay, here I can play safe, but in this case I do make the 5 point with my 3-1, leaving the 5 shot, which is very correct. Antonio hits me, playing 2 down. The 6-5, I enter, play 1 down, distribution gets a lot better, no more stack of 6. 5 and 3 is much better distribution. Okay, Antonio starts to prime me. I try to counter prime, but he has the anchor. This is all the prime I will get. This is a difficult roll. XG tells us that he should either move 24-23 with the 1 or so, or he should move 6-5 with the 1, so that's both not much of a move. He would prefer not to move the 1 at all, and the correct 3 to play is 7 to the 4 point, preparing the 5 prime. Give the shot where on the point that you want to make. And here he gives the shot on the 13. So it's more or less a shot for free. Actually, I miss the shot. Well, running is the obvious play, everything else is a double blunder. He cannot double here. He must hit me first. And he finds the hit, double force, which is a very strong roll. He hits me, makes the bar point anchor jumping. Safety 1 blot, very solid position. And here I enter and try to see some light. This is a volatile position, so even being only 2 pips ahead, Antonio will double this. And here he manages to bluff me. This is a very clear take, but he bluffs me into a pass. So I'm still scared, and this cost me a point, or part of it, because this is a 0.76 take. So bad decision by me, understandable because of the lead in the match and I was feeling scared and so on, blah blah blah. So don't do this. Make him fight for it. So all obvious moves to start the next game, and here we will see the first mistake with the 4-3. He plays 2 down, understandable, but stripping the midpoint. He should rather play the 3 on the far side of the board, splitting, and then bringing the other checker down, the 4, 13-9. I have a double 1 to play. Correct is making the 4 point. This is too defensive. Still scared. I should make the 4 point and leave my other checkers where they are. They are not in any danger. Of course, Antonio makes the 4 point. The comedy of errors goes on. I should have slotted the 7 point here. This move is too static. Not a big error, but anyway an error. Too scared, too static. So Antonio doesn't find the correct play here. The move he plays is a blunder. Regrettably, he should split his back checkers and play 9-4. My 4-2 is correct. 6-5 running, also correct. The double 1 is a great shot. Played aggressively. I am now clearly better. 6-4. He must play the 4 to the 9 and cover the 1 point. 13-9 and cover the 1 point. With the 6, this is clearly the best play. The move he is considering, and he's going to play 13-9. 13-7, I mean, and 6-2. This is actually a blunder. Should have covered the 1 and given the shot. My 6s are strong anyway. So 5-3, very strong prime here. The correct move, I must see the light with this back checker. Everything else is a blunder. So if I could hit him here off the edge, I would certainly do it. But I cannot, so I will bring 2 checkers down. The alternative would be to play 13-7 and play 9 to the 6 inside. Leaving the blot on the midpoint is not of great consequence because of the 2 blots in red's inner board. So 5 and 4. Antonio should play simply here 13-4 and see what develops. Not do anything fancy. Instead he will find a fairly artificial move. This is the move we should play. The move that is now on the board. 2 down. 2 down is a blunder. But 13-4 is correct. And interestingly, it's equally correct to break the 6 point and cover 2 other points with it. So 6-2 and 6-1. The move he's now considering, however, is way too creative and is a blunder. The move that is going to happen. 8-4, 7-2, 8-4, too creative. 13-4 was correct. The blot on the 8 point is too costly. So I will hit with 5s or 2-3, or I will, if I cannot, like with this roll, I will hit with 5s, 7s, 8s on the 2 point. Very good recovery here. By entering, he is suddenly again 45%. That is, if he doesn't make this triple blunder, he has to hit, play 8-6, and make the 5 point, obviously. Making the strong board, making it a higher likelihood that I might dance. And if I dance, I could be in trouble, because then he can try to get away again with 6s. It's a very volatile situation. So entering, hitting 8-6 and making this point is clearly best, and he's almost equal in the match, even having a positive in the game. But because of the gammons, even having a positive equity. So I'm very lucky to hit here, to enter, hitting, playing 1 checker onto my prime, and he cannot move. I still should not double here, even though I am 75% favorite. So the 2-2 correctly played. 2-5 also correct, and he's ready again to jump into the outfield. Well. So I can make the 1 point, but then I don't have any hitters in case he runs with 6s. Making the 1 point behind him, behind all the action, is a very bad idea. So I must definitely jump from the 22 point. This is a move I could consider, but it's very bad. This is much more flexible. Would it be better to slot the 1 point? Antonio does not find the hit, but he does find the correct move. Cannot give any blots here. Okay. The move played is actually the correct one, better than 16 to 9. Because I cover more. I cover the 6-1. 2-1 correctly played. 3-2, not make the 1 point. Actually a small mistake only if I do that, but this is better. Not play behind the action. 6-2 correctly played. So I can run with 1 to the 13 point, but this is better. Kind of a double falcon, not really, because only one of the checkers is exposed. After this move I'm almost a 80% favorite and also winning some gammons. 6 and 5. Running off the anchor is if it's not correct. If he does that, I'm too good. The next roll he has to simply play 13 to 2. I think he will do this. After which it is double pass. If he runs from the 23 anchor, I will be too good. So putting back the 6, he will move the 6 to the 2 point. So here I should double, he should pass, but I don't find the double. Scared again, or was I thinking that I am too good? I'm close to too good, but I'm not too good. I should double, he should pass. This is actually a moment where I should fill up the 1 point, not giving any shots because I can double him out next. If I'm going to play for a gammon, then it is better not to make the 1 point. XG tells me that the best move is here to make the 1 point, but that is because double will be coming. Don't give any fly shots here. So, what's the move I'm going to play? I'm going to leave my checkers on 15 and 13. But I do give the 6-5 shot. So that is why XG considers making the 1 point. Okay, he does not find the 6-5. After any move it will still be a pass again. But I don't find the double. Maybe I could trap him off his anchor, but there's also always the risk that he will just roll double 6s or hit a fly shot. Everything is at home. I have a prime against the 2 anchor or the 1 anchor, double him out. So also here I should double and it's a big pass. Too cautious. Not a good idea to play like this. Well, I need to come closer to home. If he doesn't find the 6-1, the 6-2 instead. And here I'm still not good enough to play on for the gammon. I should simply double and he should pass. This is what actually happens in the match. So I stopped his comeback. 10-3 will be 11-3. Antonio is considering. Considering his options. But as it turns out, with the broken board, even being 10 pips ahead in the race, it doesn't mean much, because I will probably point on him or hit him loose, and in general he will be in big trouble after my move, after almost any roll. So that means he's in trouble before the roll. And he has more or less 10% here in this position, not enough to take. Okay, players getting ready for the next game. It's a 5-3 for Antonio. Double 2 for me, immediately taking the initiative by a nice set, making the bar. I can do that, making the bar. Position is slightly better for me. 5-1. Covering the blot, of course splitting against my prime structure. Should I make the 10 point here, playing safe? No, I should not. It is a blunder to do that. I should make the 5 point. You can see me considering my options. But I decide not to play statically for a change. Okay. Punishing hit, but it was the correct move. And even more punishment. I don't enter. Still too early to double. Actually, it was not too early to double, it was a marginal double. But the double 6 doesn't help. Very lucky 4-3 here. Totally back in the game. And here there is no reason at all to double for my opponent. How to play the 5-3. In this case, the obvious move, safetying the blot, is best. Nothing fancy, no hitting on the 1 point, no blots. Sound and simple. Okay, double 1. Moving up the anchor. 11-9 is correct. 4 and 1. He plays the correct move. He sees some light and is 48 pips ahead in the race. So then I should just hope he doesn't escape. 5-3. I should play this from the back, but I should play it all the way. Taking this checker from the 24 point and running it all the way, putting it in front of his stripped anchor on the 16 point. Instead, I safety a blot, but here I'm under the small stacks, 2s and 3s. I should have moved it in front of his stripped point. Okay. Antonio with the 6-5 correctly coming out and slotting the 1 point. He's 45 pips ahead in the race. after his move he will be 56 pips ahead in the race. So that means if I miss this one, cube could be flying. Well, lucky that I don't miss. Here I find the jumping into the outfield. Antonio is not able to enter and suddenly is in bad shape with like 22% winning chances. I find the prime because I'm not good enough to double. Antonio doesn't enter. 5-2, correctly playing both checkers down. Still not close enough to double. And it's all because of the score. Because if I double, I'm needing only 2 points. Very good roll, this 5-1. If I double needing only 2 points and he takes it, he can give it back for free. Give it back on the 4 level. So here I'm actually too good after this 5-1 and Antonio not entering on the 2 point. He sees no light. Here I am too good and I have to try to play in such a way that I maximize my gammon chances. Playing to the 6, 4 and 3 points and keeping my anchor is actually the best play. After which I will be 83%, 84% to win and also 21% gammons. So if I can hit this 8 shot, it could be interesting. I don't hit the 8 shot. Well, I can hardly damage my structure on my side, so I need to run off the anchor. Still 82% solid favorite. So double 1 would be nice for Antonio. But he doesn't find one. 13-3, now he has most of his checkers home and I should just double, after which he passes and it will be Crawford. With only 11% winning chances he cannot take this cube. Well, but I was misguided again trying to play for a gammon here. No, Paul, just cash the point, bring it to Crawford. Keep it simple. So, what should I do? I come out and I play 13-11, spreading my outside checkers in case he rolls to 6-1. Okay, he's coming up to the edge, and this is definitely a moment to double because he will pass. And if I don't double, there's the risk that he will escape. I should have doubled, but I'm getting away with it. Not doubling is a blunder. Now, on the other hand, I can play, and I should play, for a gammon again. Bringing to the 6, making on the other side 12s, like double 3, double 4 as a cover. He hits me, but I don't mind, I have the 6 prime. I can fish for a second checker now. Not much to fish from the bar. Double 6, forced move. Still a quite reasonable chance that I would pick up a second checker. And then I have even 13-14% in this position of gammon chances, where the win is almost certain. So here's my big chance for the second checker. I miss the 1, so I try to fish again. He can't move. Of course I play on. It's 1.281. That's how good I am, being too good and playing for the gammon. I actually actually have a 22-23% gammon chance here. So taking my time to consider bringing both checkers in or moving one to the 2 point, it's actually not a big deal, not a big difference. But what is a big deal is that I cannot hit the 1 after so many chances. So here I'm still technically too good, with a very small margin. And here there is the 6-5, which is a bad roll, then the shot will happen. Double 6, double 5. So it's better to cash the point. And Antonio has to let this one go, and I will be on Crawford. And of course he's not going to take this. 6-5 is a wrong, leaves a shot. 5-5, 6-6, that's 4 rolls out of 36 that leave a shot. So that's 1 in 9. Then there's chance of about a third that he will hit it. So that's 1 in 27. He will hit. So that's found by multiplying the 1 in 9 where I leave a shot, multiplied by the 1 in 3 where he hits me. That makes 1 in 27 where he actually hits me, and then he's still not home. So it is clear that this is not a take. Actually, he has only 5%, 4.5% winning chances. So, on to the next game. (5-4). Of course, when I am behind, I will probably play 2 down, but in this situation I will try for the anchor. Antonio will try to deny this anchor to me, fighting for the good point. A double 3, that's nice. So make the 5 point. That's obvious, doesn't even cost me the 8 point. Playing 1 down is actually slightly inferior. I should move up to the 21 point to have 2 potential anchors. Typically defensive play. So Antonio finds the best double 6, playing for the solid structure on his side of the board, leaving the blot on the other side. In general, this is the correct approach, I think. My double 6 is not half bad. Played in the best solid way. 6-3, only one way to play, enter and jump. 5-4, of course I hit with the 4, and here I should keep my 5 prime intact. This is too flexible, I should hit him on the 1 point. I have 14 checkers in the zone, damn it. And of course, God punishes immediately, the dice god punish me immediately by the 4-6, hitting me on the point that I should have kept. And now I do hit on the 1 point, which is still correct. He enters and jumps again, and now I'm in, well, fairly big trouble. This move is correct, this 4-2. I have to split. Of course he would like to double here, but it is Crawford and he cannot double. That is my luck. I get a small reprieve. I can still do something. 6 and 5, 2 down. My 6 and 2 is not at all easy. But all the top 4 moves involve jumping one checker over the prime. Jumping the prime is usually huge, and it would be best to do it from the 21 point. Play it to the midpoint, getting out from this avalanche of checkers. So there is the avalanche crushing me half. I don't anchor, but I do enter. Double sixes. Another pretty nice roll. Making the 6 prime by pointing on my head. Cannot enter. This will be lights out quickly for this game. Making another point, and I cannot enter. So he should just play 1 8 to the 5 point. This is slightly more inflexible, but small difference. I cannot enter. Of course he will hit me on the 1 point, trying to deny me the anchor. So there is some gammon risk here. Half of his wins, more than half of his wins are gammons, but I'm lucky to enter 1 checker. Still not entering. 60% gammons here. Taking 2 off, ripping 2 off is correct for the gammon. Well, here we are in a situation of almost 90% gammons. Still, at the score where you have an even number of points to go at Crawford, you do want a gammon, but you're not going to risk a shot here. So, enter and the crossover. Still 80% gammon situation, but not after this roll. After this roll it's only 30%. He needs a double to win the gammon now. Entering 2. Okay. Any roll will save the gammon if he does not roll any of the doubles, because they all work. And this is very annoying if you're so close to the gammon, which is also important, and your opponent gets off the gammon with the double 6. Very annoying when you are behind. But we all know Antonio, he takes it like a man, and he will continue to just make progress with his comeback. Try another double in the next game. So we'll move on to the next game. 4-3 for me. Of course, needing an uneven number of points, odd number of points. Antonio could double and I have a mandatory take, but I think he wants to try to trick me here. Wait for a situation where there are some gammons and I might pass for the gammons, forgetting my mandatory take. You could always try this. After a long match, maybe your opponent is tired, maybe he will be scared. Like me, I was scared a few times. Most of the time, I was scared. So waiting is actually not a mistake. Automatic double take, says XG, but there's no difference between doubling or no doubling. I will have to take the next move as well. So it is not giving anything away here. If you double at the first move, the opponent will probably know that he should take. Antonio wants to give me something to think about. So what will he do? Double hit. It's actually correct. And I don't enter. Now he is doubling me. And we should note that there is actually like 30% almost of gammons, but I still win 40% of games. So it's still a take. But this is a situation where some people might make the mistake of passing. So 6 and 2, making the point, hitting another blood. So there is every possibility for a gammon here. There's like 30% of gammons as long as I don't anchor. So what to do here? The best moves are making the 16 point and hitting on the 2 point. Hitting on the 2 point is best. Slightly fewer wins, but more gammons. Hitting twice is too aggressive, but an understandable choice. I hit him back. So, and he hits me back. In this kind of match score, it's better to be overly aggressive, than to be not aggressive enough. Okay, here we go. 2 checkers on the bar. One is entering and anchoring. This should reduce the number of gammons. There's still almost 20% of those. But the anchor decreases the number of gammons. So 5 and 2. The 2 should go to the 20 point and bringing more wood to the fire. Entering with the 5. Playing to the 2 point is an acceptable move, but very ugly. That's why I put it on the 14. And I do have the anchor to fall back on. With the 3-1 he should indeed cover the 2 point. And he finds the correct move. Next move, I cannot safety my blood, but hitting on the 4 point, making the 11 point, very good roll. And Antonio doesn't enter. So here, for a brief moment, the game is tilting in my favor. 14 to 8, correct move, and I'm 56% to win this game. If I win this game, I have the match. So I am a favorite. He enters and makes the 8 point. So there's many ways to play these double twos. I could go to the 16 point. It's slightly inferior. I should keep the anchor inside of the board. I should play with my other checkers first. So I should either make the 7 point here or the 9 point. 7 point seems to be slightly more compact, slightly more solid. And then suddenly there is the double 6 again. What he should do actually is make the 14 point and the 7 point. That's slightly more solid. Giving a little bit more control. The move he played gives him 43% chance to win the game. If he makes the 14 and 8 point instead, it gives him 45% to win the game. Underdog he will be. And then I have a double 6 to play. So same choices for me basically. No, not at all. 20 to 8 is actually not the best way. With 6 checkers stacked on the 8 point. The best move is actually making the 2 point and jumping out to the 14 point. Having more points is generally better. Moving to the 14 point is mandatory here. The other option is to move to the 14 point and bring my 13 checkers to the 7. That's way more flexible than putting everything on the 8 point. And I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play a more flexible move. I didn't want to go to the 2 point. This looked more flexible. And the two moves are approximately equally strong. So here I'm actually quite a favorite to take the game and the match. I'm assessed 60% favorite after this move. He plays the 5-2. He plays it correctly. He has to see the light. Slotting the 3. 5 and 2. No reason to hit. If I hit and move it along to the 1 point, that is a small mistake. I should play the move that we see here on the board. It's the correct move. Okay, he makes the 5 point board. Still a 40% underdog. I have to be careful. 40% is not nothing. Correct move is making the 1 point. Just waiting for my chance, waiting for my lucky roll to point on him. But he's gone. He's out. Now he is suddenly a favorite. I need to hit him. Or he might just run away with this game. This is the correct move. Do I find the 5? No. Then I should bring 2 checkers in for the race. Still being 7 pips down. So he manages to save his blood. Here I have to bring both checkers in from the 7. Just to have a better racing perspective. I'm probably not going to hit him. Okay, this is an acceptable move, but a slight mistake. He finds a 2, so he cannot clear his 13 point. Yeah, playing the 6 to the 2 is actually better for the race, keeping the 6 and 5 points covered. This is a well-known play. Yeah. So, with this double 4, there is not much chance that I should still win this game, and then he finishes this off with double 6s. So we can look ahead to the next game in this match. course, you should never resign in a position where you still win like 1% or so. But it is not even 1% here. So we move to the next game. But I should be happy that he did not win a gammon. So here will be another opportunity to clinch the match. So it seems we are having another break. After the break, I will be back with more commentary. So the players are getting back to the board for the next game. Antonio did a good job. He was 10-0 behind, and it is now only 12-6. So everything to play for. Could he maybe win another gammon? Sorry, the score is 12-6. And here we go. 6-4, running, which is actually the correct move at this score. Antonio, again, not doubling where it is a normal double. But he doesn't give me anything by not doubling. I have to take the next roll as well. Double 2, very strong. Second roll, giving me a really good, solid, developed position. 6 and 4 played correctly. And here is a double 6 that should help, making me almost a 60% favorite. So playing solidly on my side of the board, leaving the blot on the other side, normally the correct way to play. He will normally hit me. Oops, he will not, because 4s and 5s don't hit. Double 5, still an acceptable roll, of course. He will consider leaving the anchor, but he will need to count. As it turns out, after his roll, he will be 3 pips behind, so this does not look like the correct moment to break off the contact. If he leaves his anchor and I roll 5s or 7s or better, then there is no more contact. Not any contact to mention, only the midpoint. And it will be more or less a straight race. So Antonio is correct not to leave the anchor, and he finds the best play, slotting 4 and 5 point. So running with the last checker is the obvious move here. And he finds a hit, covering the 4 point. So, what should I do if he doubles me next roll? First try to enter. And I dance. So definitely a double now. Antonio has 24% gammon chances, but I still have 37% winning chances. That is not totally not obvious behind the board. So you might think your opponent has 30% gammon chances and you yourself have only 30% winning chances, then it becomes like an even money decision to take. But here I had 37% winning chances and there was only 24% gammon chances. Impossible to accurately estimate over the board, but I found the correct take. In the meantime, some moves were played. I danced twice, I danced another time. So double 4 is a nice move, but he will misplay it by stacking everything on the 5 point. The correct move is to play 2 to the 9 point, 1 to the 7 and 1 to the 4, giving me 2, 5 and 3, 4, but otherwise being much more flexible to make points on my head, or in any case make points and win a gammon. Here I do enter, and how to enter. Actually, I make the wrong choice here. I should enter on the 23 point and play one down, giving me slightly more winning chances, 13%. Here I have only 8%. The move I played does cut down on the gammon. But after his double 5 and me dancing and the 3-1 and the 6-4, gammons are pretty huge now. And after the 6-6, the win is certain, and so are the gammons, more or less. The gammons are 97%. Only if I pull another double 6 or double 5, or maybe two of them, I can save the gammon. So this game has become completely uninteresting, except for Antonio, of course, because he is going to get 2 well-deserved points, finally not being unlucky and winning a very nice gammon. And there is my double 6, only too late. So it turns out I need 2 of them, at least another small double on the next row. Will there be like the double 2? Double 3 isn't even working. No, there's no double. So that means suddenly 4 points. So he needed 7 points, now he needs only 3. So if Antonio pulls this trick on me just one more time, doubling and making a gammon, then he's there. Or he needs to win 2 points, two games. Four 3 is for him. He should play 2 down actually, to maximize his gammons. So this I totally don't understand. Making the bar point is clear. Making his bar point also clear. Well, I know the double is coming. So I could split 24 to 21. I could make the 5 point. In this case I chose the hit, double and take. All 3 options were more or less equally strong. So he enters, hits me on the 2 point, which is actually an overplay. He should play the 13-7. So, exciting match. How to play the 5-1. He will make the point on my head, which is correct. I enter, play 1 down, which is correct. Hopping to the 15 point is second best, but a blunder. Antonio is in control. He has 2 points in the board. I have only 1, so any lucky sequence might tilt the game for him. So he hits and moves up, which is correct. I anchor and I hit. It's actually incorrect. I should take my other blot and step up on the anchor. I don't want all these blots around. What I want is not to lose a gammon. The move I play wins actually more games. It wins 49% of games instead of 46, but the gammon cost was too high. Anyway, I get away with it. After his 3-6, I find a set of 4s, and now I am in control. I have 2-1 advantage here. Antonio correctly entering and hitting, keeping up the pressure. I don't enter. So he has to cover the 2 point. Cannot play the 3 with the runners, so he has to bring 1 down. I enter and safety a blot. Still a 2-1 advantage for me. But there is no guarantees in backgammon. So double 4 is not so bad, because he can hit. Bring 2 down and 1 to the 6 point, so there is some attack here. If I don't find an entry, I could be in trouble. But I do find the entering number covering the outfield. Five and 1. Jumping the prime seems obvious, but actually it is better to cover the 3 point and move to the edge of the prime. It's hard to see. Hard to see why also. It's just slightly more aggressive, I guess. So, and the 3-2, what he should play here, this is a slight error. He should move up to the prime, giving himself 5s to escape, to potentially escape. Okay, another case where the dice get stuck. So, what will come out of this beautiful baffle box? 2 and 1. I'm trying to bring this position home and win the match at this instance. So, no reason to break my anchor. Just diversify. If he just could find the 2-5 or 1-6, he would be in great shape suddenly, because he is leading 20 pips in the race. So 3-2 correctly played, giving himself some light. I need to find a good roll here, and I do. Double 1 kicks him off the edge. So, where is my 1? Is it 7-6? Or should I break the anchor? I should definitely not break the anchor, but 9-8 is actually correct. Because if your opponent is on the bar, or is not at the edge of the 5 prime, it's normally correct to slot the back end of the 5 prime. If only one number, like here 2-6 or sometimes 1-6, if only one of those numbers hits on the back end of the prime, then it's a good deal to slot that back end, because you will have yourself many more numbers to cover it in case he doesn't get his beautiful number. The 6-3 is actually a misplay here. I should jump from my anchor like a hit and split because he was on the bar. So this was the correct moment to jump off my anchor. Not a big mistake, but a mistake. The double 1 again, making the 6 prime. So now I'm firmly in control, cruising to the match victory. 95% winning chances, which is not 100%. I'm only at 95. Many things can happen. It's actually correct not to hit, because I don't need gammons. And I certainly don't need him to anchor. So not hitting is correct, but it was only a very small mistake to hit. So when in doubt, still hit, of course. 5 and 1. Slotting the front of the prime could be correct. But I don't need to do it by force, because I don't need the second checker. So I could first bring all my men to the prime. So entering, keeping the 2 checkers on the other side diversified. So, of course, I should leave his board. And now I should bring this baby home. So now I need to avoid double 6s. If in this kind of situation, if you make the double 6 safe, then nothing much can happen. So if I play 7 to 5 here, then double 6 leaves a shot. But I should play 8 to 6, and then 2 will go in and 2 off, and there will be no shot. So somehow I had a hallucination here and thought it was difficult to save my double 6. And here you will see me playing a very unnatural move. It does guard against double 6, but it's very ugly to play 1 to the 1 point. So double 6 will be safe. It was actually a 1% error. So, and now double 6 is wrong anyway. I'm just lucky that the double 6 doesn't come. It's a bad idea to move your checkers to the 1 point because it's inflexible. Let that be a lesson to me. Okay, here we go. First checkers off. If he enters with double 6s, he might still win, but he does not. Checker number 4. He still doesn't enter. Now there could be a shot with a high double. This is not happening. As when he enters now, the match is gin. And all the tension suddenly falls away, and I am into the final, where I will meet Vincenzo Risaputi. Solid player, and we will certainly look forward to an exciting final. Okay, thank you all for watching this match.